Sponsored by music industry leaders Regal Tip, Ernie Ball, Ampeg, and Mackie. And now your hosts, Rich Rogenmoser and co-host The Doctor.
Broadcasting live from the second poorest city in America, here's Rich and the Doctor.
Like I said before, there are times when things don't lay the way they're supposed to lay. But regardless, you're supposed to hold your head up high and walk tall. Walk tall.
Hi, folks. Welcome down to the best hour in music. My name is Rich Rogenmoser. Welcome to Heard It on the X, the East Coast premier music talk show, often imitated but never duplicated. Welcome, my good friend, the Doctor. How you doing, Doctor?
I'm very well. I am often tried to be duplicated as well. I messed that up.
Yeah, bad. Obviously,
I'm often imitated, never duplicated is what I was trying to say.
You are. You really are.
A lot of people try to be like the Doctor, but no one really can.
That's true. That's true. I have not seen you, it seems like, in months.
It's been years.
Production meetings you're not at. The store you're never at anymore.
If I got a phone call to tell me that there was a production meeting, but, we're just not going to touch
We used to play that video game together. We're
Angry Birds?
There. Yes, exactly. You're never there for that.
Yeah, you got really good at Angry Birds, and you made me look bad, so I don't want to play that with you anymore.
Once again, folks, welcome down. I actually just came here. I'm exhausted, really, believe it or not. This is going to be a fantastic show, but I'm exhausted. I just came from the men's show, which is actually on a competing radio network. That's the long arm of the music exchange right there. I can go back and forth between any network I want.
Wow.
What do you think about that,
Very
Doc?
Impressive.
As
you're being escorted out.
Yeah, they threw me out.
Right now.
They did throw me out.
Yeah, they're taking you out.
I want to thank Black Widow, and I want to thank Widowmaker, who played at our booth over at the men's show. It's a lot of fun. Really cool, registering to win some stuff. The big giveaway that we're doing is April 9th. We're doing that Mackie. Mackie's a big sponsor of the Heard It on the X radio show. They're giving away $1,000 in home recording gear April 9th. You can go to richesmusicexchange.com or give us a call at 716-646-6240 to enter. I also want to tell people, go to xshow.co. Go there right now on the top navigation bar. Click on live chat. And you can live chat with us, and you're going to want to live chat with us today because this week's show is amazing. We have Joel Selvin, who is going to be on, and Joel is the author of Sammy Hagar's new book, Red.
Yes.
Which is pretty scathing.
Yeah,
There's some scathing stuff in there.
It's not too friendly. It's not too friendly to the boys from Van Halen, especially Eddie. He did not have the nicest of things to say.
He didn't. And really, Chris Cannella, if you're a fan of the show, you know Chris Cannella because he's a good friend of mine. He's a good friend of the show. And he is a good friend of Eddie Van Halen's. So Chris is going to join us also and kind of give his side of what he knows about Eddie and what he thinks about Eddie, and you can decide. The book Red is a very, very interesting book. I recommend getting it. It's number one, just went number one on New York Times bestseller list.
Yeah, it's doing very well for itself, and I mean, all the controversy and everything hasn't hurt it.
Controversy sells.
It does. That's why I dress the way I do.
Provocative.
Remember when I wore my meat dress to the studio?
What did you do? We couldn't make it to the Vic Wooten thing.
Yeah, you had a busy week, but I had a busy week too. I went to see Victor Wooten, who we had on the show last week. I went to see him Monday at the Water Street Music Hall in Rochester. Phenomenal show. The Stanley Clarke Trio opened for him, which the Stanley Clarke Trio consists of 5 members. So I don't know where they got trio out of it. No, but a great show. Victor, I mean, he's incredible.
Yeah.
There's nothing else you can say. I mean, he's just a great player, and I mean, just a phenomenal talent.
Victor's a great player, and he is a great player. But I got to ask you this one question, and I don't mean this to come out the wrong way.
Uh-oh.
Sometimes when I see players like Vic, Steve Vai falls in that category where they're just head and shoulders above everybody. I find myself thinking, boy, oh boy, that's just too many notes. Can you?
Yeah.
Does Vic
I know what you mean.
Perform that way or no?
I mean, he does at times, but I mean, the whole show isn't, him, going nuts on the bass. But I do know what you mean. I do sort of get that, sort of Steve Vai, feeling watching Steve Vai, where, it's kind of like, you're going nuts and it's too much to comprehend at once.
Satriani's kind of that way
Yeah,
too.
sometimes things are beautiful in simplicity as well.
Yeah.
But no, Victor, he's phenomenal, and the show. I mean, he doesn't lose your attention throughout it. I mean, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, good. So it was a good show. Good
Yes.
venue, too, you said.
Yeah,
right?
it's a really cool venue. I thought I had been there before until I got there, and I was like, you know what, I've never been here. But it's really cool. There's, a balcony, big bar, and then there's like a separate room with almost a restaurant pizzeria type deal where they simulcast the show on a big screen, too, so you don't miss any of the show if you want to go grab something to eat. So it's a really cool venue, really cool vibe, and they got, a lot of people have played there all along the walls. They have Stevie Van Zandt pictures, and I mean,
really? That's cool.
Lots of people have played there, so I mean, it's a really cool venue, and I'd like to go back there again. It's a cool place to see a show.
I want to say hi really quickly to Dave, who's listening to us in his car right now. Dave has actually saved me from pulling my own hair out of my head because he works for Stevens Driving School. He's a driving instructor extraordinaire, might I add.
Yes.
And he's teaching both my boys simultaneously to drive. So
I think the rest of the world should thank Dave as well because these boys are they're a piece of work, and I think without Dave there would be just chaos on the highways.
That's true. Okay, we're going to go to our first in-studio guest, and we brought a good friend of ours, Ross Catt from Back to Back Entertainment. How you doing, Ross?
Good, Rich. Doctor, how you doing? Good to be here.
We brought Ross here for a specific reason. I mean, first of all, Ross is a huge proponent of Western New York music, and he is really, honestly, single-handedly at times tried to just keep booking shows. We all talked about, why don't good shows come to Buffalo anymore? You hear this all the time. Ross and Back to Back Entertainment continue to bring the best shows in. But Ross also has a relationship, an interviewing relationship with Sammy Hagar. You've interviewed him quite a few times, right, Ross?
Yeah, I've had the good fortune to write for Eddie Honick and Dave Koester at Nightlife, who you guys obviously work with.
Yeah.
Since 2000, so, kind of parlayed that, like you, into getting interviews and stuff. And I've interviewed Sammy 4 or 5 times. I did the first Cabo Wabo cruise, which was cool. Got to go on the cruise, hang out. Interviewed Ronnie Montrose on the boat. Ironically enough, beach bum Sammy doesn't like to go on boats. He will not go on the boat.
Oh, really?
So no, we took the cruise, and when we got to Cabo, he was there that morning, greeted us, and ran us right through the city and into his club. So that was pretty funny. He wasn't on the boat with us.
So you and I, you're very much a musicologist. We're all kind of really into music. You've read the book. What is your take on it? I mean, what is your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool how Sammy and Joel came together, because Joel hasn't always been a big Sammy Hagar fan.
That's true, yeah.
Throughout the years. For 30 years, he's been a journalist in San Francisco, and has kind of hammered Sammy over the years, solo records, and even some Van Halen shows. So I think it gives a little more credibility that Sammy chose somebody, not necessarily a fan or a friend, to do the book with him. Obviously there's a lot of controversy in it, and talking about what happened with Van Halen, the David Lee Roth tour.
Right. And controversy sells. We all
absolutely.
know that. That's what sells. So it's, and it's the kind of thing where we could actually see, a reunion in 2 years. You never know.
And Sammy's been trying to do that for years. He said, for the fans, I'd go out with Dave again and do it if we could all do it together.
Right, and do it right.
That's why I think, Sammy's about the music. He's really always about the fans. He always has been. Will we see it after this? I doubt it.
Yeah, these guys are all thicker skin than you think.
Yeah.
But I do think there is some scathing stuff in there. I agree with you. And when we talked to Joel, I know that's one of the first questions you had wanted to ask was, about the adversarial relationship that Joel and Sammy had, And there's a great story that you brought up that I know we're gonna have our listeners wait until we get Joel on, but there's a great story that you want to ask. What's Back to Back got going on? Back to Back's got lots of stuff.
I've been lucky to work with a lot of great venues. Rapids Theater, John Hutchins, and Niagara Falls. Club Paradise will be reopening again, all remodeled. And Club Infinity revamped. Everything looks great. This Saturday I have Big Leg Emma coming in with 3 guys from the Michael Glebicki Trio, Rusted Root guys. Club Paradise.
That's at Infinity.
Yes, that's Infinity.
And Infinity's a new sponsor of the show too.
Yes, they are.
I like Infinity.
Ken and Amadeo, great guys, taking the place over and running with, the place had its bad few years here, but they're ready to take it back up to where it once was.
And you've done this for a long time. A lot of music venues go through periods where different owners come in, might monkey things up a little bit, and then somebody comes in and fixes it.
Well, like your intro said, we are in this, one of the poorest cities in the country, and it's very hard to get people to go out. The hardest thing as a promoter is when after a show somebody goes, I heard you had so-and-so. and that was a great show. I mean, that breaks your heart.
That's the worst.
To think that people, like, you heard it after, and it's not like you don't pay for your advertising. Like you guys help us out here,
right.
advertising our shows. And it's disheartening, but, you just got to keep plugging away. People like to go out, you try to keep the shows reasonable. And, eventually people, hopefully will come out and enjoy the live music.
And it's funny that you say about reasonable, because that's one of the things, and I know that's like your mantra. You actually, know exactly where you want ticket prices to be. Even at Rapids, the ticket prices are really affordable, and you make sure that you're bringing in shows that you can economically make it work in the area, and I think that that's fantastic, really.
Well, thanks. Like I said, the point is you don't want to have 50 people see an amazing show.
Right.
Like I said, the more people there, it's going to generate volume of whatever, spending money on drinks or food or whatever. Eventually, it all comes together where you can pay the artists. You just want people in the building to enjoy the music. So.
And you have, did we cover the Paradise is reopening, right?
Yeah, yep. Hopefully, we have James Wesley coming in on April 8th and Thompson Square on April 15th, two great up and coming country stars.
And now you have, Mike, I know, has snuck you in, and you've seen the finished product.
Yes,
it's pretty amazing.
Mike Muroff, long overdue shot at running the show there, on his own, and it looks fantastic.
Kim and Josh and I had seen it mid-construction, and you could envision, but you've actually seen the finished product.
Yeah. Brand new floor. It's a great mural behind the bar. It's fantastic.
It's going to be a great venue.
People will really enjoy themselves and have a good time.
The cool thing about Paradise too is it's a really cool venue in the South Towns, which gets forgotten about a lot. There's just not a really good venue in the South Towns.
And there's a hotel attached to it too. So again, you can make a whole evening out of it, enjoy yourself, and let loose.
And it's in, like you said, it's in a great, it's in a great spot. And in the South Towns, there's not a lot of, places like that. So, I mean, it's going to be great once they reopen that and they can, have that.
Yeah, I mean, there's really Infinity's a decent 1,200 seat, I think. What is Paradise? Probably 800?
Yeah, 800 to 900.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good sized room. So you can put decent acts in there. Really, without that.
We have in the past.
You've done a lot of.
We've had some great shows there. Firehouse. Brett Michaels was there. Last fall. So we've had some great shows.
And you, I know. The one thing that you pride yourself on, and we got to go to a commercial break, but I do think that this is amazing. You have an uncanny knack for catching these country acts, these modern country acts, when they're first out of the gate. You can look at the whole flock of them and pick out the ones that are really going to be something.
And I would have never guessed that 5 years ago.
Yeah, we grew up together, and I never would have guessed that either. Because you've always been a rock and roll guy, but it's uncanny. We just seen Perry at
Van Perry, yeah.
And you had booked them prior to them being Grammy nominated and everything else. We've seen them at Rapids, which was a fantastic show. But you just do have this uncanny knack. Which,
like you, I have a lot of good relationships with the radio, all different radio properties here in Buffalo, and that helps. When you're working with the program directors and things like that, whether it be rock, country. So I've been fortunate to have those relationships and kind of get little leads and look out for this band, keep an eye on this band. So.
Don't sell yourself short though. I mean, you just have an uncanny knack for this. I mean, it's pretty incredible. All right. That's enough kissing Ross's butt for now. We're going to come back, and once again, folks, I don't know that you're going to see another interview like this. We're going to actually have somebody from Eddie's camp talking a little bit about Eddie, and Joel Sullivan, the author of the book Red's going to be with us right after the commercial break. Stick around, folks. Heard it on the app.